What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Board Games Are For Everybody, where today we're going to be continuing on with Bloodborne, the board game. Something we're going to talk about first, before we hop into this, is that apparently I was making the game harder on myself, because while you do have to indeed discard cards from your hand when you go to make an action, turns out you do not have to discard a card from your hand when you are attacking. So I have been unintentionally making things harder on myself because I could be getting multiple attacks in each turn. So that'll actually be a whole lot easier as far as attacking goes, because now being able to do multiple attacks, because the way it was working before was basically I was moving, discarding to attack, and then doing one attack. So I felt like I always had to do the overhead slam. But now that we can move and then do two attacks, because we don't have to discard for an attack, unless of course we dodge in the same turn, then that's really going to change things up. That's really going to change things up. So we're just going to hop right into chapter 3 of the Long Hunt here. It has the same setup as the last chapter did as far as the board goes. Let's get our enemies onto the board here. We have a Scourge Beast over here. If we don't move, that Scourge Beast is going to be able to come after us. And we have a Huntsman's Minion over here, as well as a couple of consumables we can get. Okay, so let's hop into Chapter 3 here. Enemies, the Hunter Mob, the Huntsman's Minion, and the Scourge Beast. Tiles included are the Graveyard, Yosefka's Clinic, Oiden Chapel, the Great Bridge, Tomb of Oiden, and 2 random tiles, seeing as there is only one Hunter in play, which we have everything. Special rules were on card 17, which were the same as the special rules from Chapter 2. It was just putting the Graveyard beside the central lamp, putting the extra tile on the opposite side, and then putting the Tomb of Oiden on a random tile, which we have done. Turns out that random tile ended up being the exact same setup as before. And I believe our extra tile is different than what it was before. So we do slightly have a different thing. But let's hop right into this. The Long Hunt, Chapter 3 missions. Start of the hunt, reveal card number 40. If we end a move on Yosefka's Clinic, we reveal card 45. If we end a move on the Great Bridge, we reveal card 53. And if we end a move on the Oiden Chapel, we reveal card 56. So we're going to start here by revealing card number 40. And we're just going to have to hope that we actually remember to flip cards this time when we end our movement on a particular card. Our hunt mission, Source of the Scourge. From deep within the Tomb of Oiden, the Cleric Beast emits a thundering roar. From all around central Yharnam, howls of Scourge Beasts are heard in turn. It would appear this creature has taken up the role of pack leader, summoning the beasts to it. As long as this creature lives, more Scourge Beasts will be drawn to it. The goal is clear. Reveal card 41. Surround the Tomb of Oiden tile with fog gates. Spawn the Cleric Beast on its space. Complete the hunt by slaying the Cleric Beast. So, the Tomb of Oiden is where our Cleric Beast is going to be. We aren't going to worry about going in and attacking it quite yet. However, even last round we were doing okay. Even last chapter is what I meant to say. We were doing okay as far as the... Oh, where are my lanterns? They have just disappeared, apparently. I was trying to find my... Oh, there they are. My no lantern tokens here. As far as the last chapter goes, we did okay even when we had to basically use one attack per turn, because I didn't realize that we didn't have to discard. But we will see how this goes. We should be all right, right? Should be okay. We'll get our Cleric Beast cards out here just for when we do start doing the action. We have slowly found somewhat of a better setup here. I might have to push the board up a bit because we're probably going to come travel down this way. What was I looking for? The Cleric Beast card. So I'm guessing that he starts on phase 1 still, right? I would guess he still starts on phase 1. We will put that somewhere. We'll toss it up here for the time being. Hopefully it is still visible. But if we go off to the left, which I don't know if we will be. Okay, I should be able to get a tile in there. And then we just need our 3 starting cards here. And we are good to go. We're going to go try and do some insight missions because who knows, they might do something at the game. Oh, I had to draw read card 41. I need to read card 41 before we start. The rules say you're supposed to keep the insight cards when you complete them for other chapters, but we haven't run into anything where that's important yet. Contained. Hunters may not enter the Tomb of Odin when the hunters have collected at least 2 insight this chapter, or the second reset space of the hunter track is reached. Mark this space with an insight token. Reveal cards 42 and 43. So either when we get 2 insight or we hit the second reset, we read the other cards, and that's everything for that, right? So we're just going to put this on top here. So we are continuing once again trying to get some insights. We're going to start by doing some movement because we want to get those other tiles up so we can start trying to get some of our insight challenges. So we're going to discard this draw 1, just over here, and we're going to move 2 spaces. So we're going to start by moving down 1 space, which is going to open up the Great Bridge, which there's still not enough room here, and we're going to have to push up farther because I'm going to need... God, that Cleric Beast is all the way on the other side of the table now. That's going to be a bit of a pain to get to if we go back that way. How can I set this up so that I don't... I don't think I can. I don't think I can. Can I get these over a little more somehow? Enemy action, Cleric Beasts. These are my cards here. Our discard's still over there. That's enough room, right? That's enough room. Getting to that Cleric Beast is going to be a pain. Let me tell you, I'm going to have to reach across the entire table. My chair is also in the way, which is stopping me from moving this camera back a little bit. Now we don't have everything in shot. Apparently, recording this game is harder than I thought it was going to be. And we're currently cutting off the Cleric Beast's head, but such is life. The Cleric Beast is just too large for this board. Oh, that's a long stretch. That's a long stretch. So we're here with 1 movement left. A Scourge Beast is being spawned on this spot, as well as a consumable item. And we can still move another spot, right? We don't have to, but we could. We could also just try and take out this Scourge Beast by doing an overhead slam and then investigating the spot in order to take a consumable item. That would be another thing we can do. That is an option. Maybe we'll do that. Let's go into an attack. So I don't have to discard for an attack, apparently, which is good. We're going to attack with our overhead slam. While I don't want to... Well, what can the Scourge Beast do? He has a 3 or a 2. So we would need them to get their special unless I dodge. We're going to kill it either way. So we're going to go with our dodge for the attack. So we're doing... We'll only take 2 damage. That's not too bad for the first turn. So we're going to be doing 4 damage at speed 1 with our overhead slam. Our opponent is going to be doing their basic attack, which is a speed 3 swipe for 2 damage. I'm not going to dodge this. I don't need to. I have the old hunter bone that we could dodge with, but I don't really want to right now. We could also use the Evelyn in order to parry the attack and stagger them, but I think we're just going to let the hit go through for the time being. I think that's all right. So we're going to take 2 damage since they're speed 2, and we're going to deal 4 damage with our overhead slam, which is going to take out this Scourge Beast. It's going to give us a Blood Echo, and we get to clear this card since we have a clear this slot. So we still have an attack with our overhead slam, which is good. And then do I search the spot or do I move again to try and get more stuff out? I also need to... Before that combat even started, I was supposed to read the card for ending on the Great Bridge. Oh, geez. I have to remember to actually do this stuff. Do stuff before setting up. We didn't, hold on, we didn't attack here, because I'm going to take a guess and say it's probably going to have me block this section off for an actual battle of some other sort. So what's the card for ending on the Great Bridge here? Reveal card 53. I even said it when we started. Remember to read cards when you end on certain tiles. Remember to read the cards, damn it. The Great Bridge. The Great Bridge is the connector between Central Yharnam and the Cathedral Ward. If you have ominous warnings or surviving the hunt, reveal card 54. Otherwise, reveal card 35. I have surviving the hunt. I have a couple surviving the hunts. So I guess we're revealing card 54. Look at that. I said at the beginning there that we haven't gotten anything where our insight quests have done anything for us, but we have surviving the hunt. A couple of them. So we need to take card number 54. Insight mission. Clearing the pack. You come across a small pack of Scourge Beasts. Surprisingly, rather than attacking, they retreat, seemingly fleeing you. Perhaps it is the smell of blood or some animal instinct instructing them to do so. But regardless of the reason, you will finish the purging of these beasts from Yharnam. Place Hunter plus 2 insight, so 2. Oh no, 3. Hunter plus 2, so there's only 1 Hunter, which is me, plus 2. So 3 insight tokens on this card. Each time a Scourge Beast is slain, remove 1 token from this card. Complete this mission when this card has no remaining tokens on it. All right, so we're putting 3 insight on that card. We have 3, so our turn basically would have played out as normal. A Scourge Beast summons here. We would have attacked with our overhead slam. We didn't take a dodge, so we take 2 damage. But we deal 4 damage to take out this Scourge Beast. We get a Blood Echo. We get rid of 1 of these insight tokens. All is well in the world. We just got a bit ahead of ourselves. That's all. We just got a bit ahead of ourselves. So now the question is, do I want to investigate and take this consumable, or do I want to move and try and reveal some more tiles? If I move and it ends up being... a enemy space, I'm going to have nothing to dodge with. So I think getting the consumable might be better. Just investigating this space. Or we could just end our turn and not investigate at all. It would ensure that we keep this +1/+1, +1 damage and +1 speed for the next turn, which could be beneficial. We need 2 insights in order to continue on with the main hunt. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We're still on turn 1. I think revealing tiles might be the better way to go. I do have the old hunter bone in case we need to dodge. And I also have the Evelyn in the case that they do a basic attack. So maybe we're going to use this to move, just so we can possibly get more insight quests. Should we get onto a tile that grants one, which is likely. We only have 3 tiles left, and 2 of them give us a space that will give us an insight quest. So we're gonna move. So we're gonna go 1, 2. Our top tile is our random one, of course it is. So we're gonna go here. And that puts us on this space here. We've got a huntsman's minion spawned in to this space here. So our last 2 tiles are both going to be things that are going to open up for us. We've got Yosefka's Clinic and the Oiden Chapel, both of which are going to be beneficial to us. However, we are starting things off by doing an enemy attack here because we don't have anything to dodge with. So our enemy is going to be doing, oh, if I didn't have 2 cards there, a special attack. The special on the Huntsman's Minion is the Overhead Slam. Well, it's the same as mine. However, I don't have all of these additional things on it. Cannot be staggered, deals 2 damage to all other hunters in this space unless they dodge at a speed of 1. I don't want to take 4 damage because that will kill me, and I don't want to die. So we're going to flip our old hunter bone in order to dodge this. The hunter bone has been consumed for the time being, at least until we go back to the hunter dream. And we're going to dodge that attack, and that is going to end up the turn for the minions. So we are going to roll into the next turn here, turn number 2. Being able to attack without discarding cards has made things much easier. Much easier, let me tell you. And we need our 3 cards here. So we have a draw 1, that could be beneficial. We have a +1, which we'll probably use to take this guy out. And then we have a stagger. May make a move action before using this card. That could be super beneficial. So we can move out and we can put a new tile on without actually having to do a move action. So that could actually be pretty beneficial for us. I'm going to have to figure out all this stuff over here. I'm going to pull this stuff over a bit. Our cleric beast attacks might end up getting cut off over here, but if I move all this stuff over and I put the cleric beast down here, I can just switch them out. That's cut off, isn't it? Well, you can kind of see it. Okay, so we're going to start our turn off by just going after this hunter's minion. We're going to be using our +1 with our leaping. And we're going to be using that on our overhead slam. So we're going to be doing a +1 damage for a total of 5 damage at a speed of 1. However, it says we can make a move action before using this card to attack. So if I'm no longer on the same space as the enemy, it can't attack me, right? It's basically a free dodge, which I won't complain about. At least that's how I would interpret that card, because I'm no longer on the opponent's space unless they attack before me, in which case they would. However, since all of his abilities are 1s, we would go at the same time, which technically by the rules, I guess, would mean they attack first, because it says you're supposed to make it as hard for yourself as possible, but no, I'm not going to do that. So we are going to be attacking. Our enemy is using their special once again. So they're using an overhead slam at a speed of 1 for 4 damage. However, we are also attacking at 1. And we're dealing 5 damage as well as taking a movement off to the side here. So that's going to reveal a new tile, which is Yosefka's Clinic. That puts us down here. And we still do 5 damage to this guy, which takes him out. So that kills him, and we gain another Blood Echo. And we have now ended a movement, because it does say to move, right? You may make a move action. So we ended a move on Yosefka's Clinic, so we need to draw card number 45. 45. Insight mission, Yosefka's Clinic. You approach the large barred doors of the clinic, knocking upon them. A low female voice answers. If you have both Yosefka's Research and Safe Refuge, Yosefka's Clinic, reveal card 46. If you have Safe Refuge, Yosefka's Clinic, but do not have Yosefka's Research, reveal 51. If you have Yosefka's Research, but do not have Safe Refuge, Yosefka's Clinic, reveal 52. Otherwise, reveal 24. I believe we have one of them. We just have Yosefka's Research. We did not bring any survivors back to the clinic. So we just have the one. So we are taking card number 52. Uh, 52. Insight mission, shelter at Yosefka's Clinic. Ah, the hunter, I have a task for you. The infection spreads and the common folk need shelter. Send them here and I swear I will protect them, perhaps even cure them. And of course, you will be rewarded as well. Hunters also gain 1 survivor token when they pick up consumables. These tokens are not lost. The hunter teleports or the tokens are lost if the hunter teleports or goes to the dream. Hunters ending a move on Yosefka's Clinic tile place their held tokens on this card. Complete this mission when Hunter +1 tokens have been placed on this card. So we need 2. So because we didn't do this one during the last chapter, we're doing it now. I wonder what would have happened if we did both of them. Maybe if we play again, when we play this chapter again, which I will definitely be doing, I want to try out the other Hunter weapons and stuff. But we'll see. I guess maybe next time we'll figure that out. So consumable spaces, there's supposed to be a consumable on this space. Consumable spaces now also give us a survivor token. And if we end on Yosefka's Clinic, we gain those tokens. So we are going to use one action to move 2 spaces to this space right here. And we're going to use our second action here in order to investigate the space. So we are going to get a consumable, and we also have a survivor that is now following us. But let's see what our consumable is. An antidote. Draw 1 card and remove 1 poison. We haven't been poisoned yet, but drawing a card could still be pretty beneficial. We'll see how that goes for us. I can move this up since we're definitely not going to be moving down at all. In fact, I could use that antidote right now to draw another card, and we could move over here and get the Oiden Chapel set up, which would give us another insight. Do I want to do that? I could also move back to Yosefka's Clinic just to put the survivor on. I could also move back up to the Great Bridge so that next turn we can get there a little easier. But that's only if I draw a card. By using my antidote. There's nothing that can poison us right now, I don't think. Unless phase 2 of the Cleric Beaks can poison us. We haven't really figured that out, I suppose. Move all enemies in your space up to 2 spaces away. That's the Beast Roar. We haven't used that yet. When you're slain, keep 1 Blood Echo. That's not too bad. I don't really think we're going to be using the antidote for poison, but if we were to hold on to it, because our character goes through each campaign, so we're going to be taking our character with us into the other campaigns. So keeping items could be beneficial. Now, I don't know if you keep your insight missions. I think those go back at the end of each campaign. But our character, on the other hand, I do want to I do want to keep throughout the campaigns. So it means going into the other campaigns we'll have a slightly upgraded deck, which is nice. And that antidote could be beneficial when we get to the Bloodstar Beast, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We're gonna consume this in order to draw a card so that we don't have to end our turn quite yet. We'll shuffle this back into the consumable deck. We are going to draw one card. And then we're going to use that card to move 1, 2, so that next turn we can hit up that opposite space and get another survivor that we can take back to Yosefka. So that's going to end the turn. So we're now moving 1 turn forward. We need 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a very quick turn. Basically, we have to use a card in order to move 1 space. We have to use a card. Do I have anything that lets me move extra spaces? I wonder if there is anything that lets me move extra spaces. We're going to use a card to get a consumable and another survivor. And a consumable, it is a Pungent Blood Cocktail. 1 non-boss enemy within 2 spaces doesn't activate. That could be beneficial for us. And then we are going to use this other card here to slowly make our way back to Yosefka's clinic. And that is going to be our turn. No enemies are close enough to activate. So we have 1 turn before a reset here. So we're going to get our cards. We're going to just move into the Yosefka tile. We're only going to go to the first one since we just have to be on the tile, I believe it said. I don't think we have to be on the actual Yosefka clinic space. These tokens are lost from hunters ending a move on Yosefka's clinic tile place their held tokens on this card. So just on the tile. So am I going to get into any combat this turn? 1, 1, 2, and then I'm going to move out to get the Oiden Chapel set up, which doesn't have anything on it. So it doesn't matter how these cards get discarded. So we're doing 1. We're going to move here. So both of these are going to come onto the shelter since we ended the space there. And we need to reveal card number 28. Safe Refuge. The shelter at Oiden Chapel Insight mission may no longer be completed. Oh. Well, we'll see if that's the one that we end up with. Distribute the messenger's gift reward amongst the hunters. They're safe with me now, and their treatment is going well, stabilized for the most part. Fascinating, really. Here you are, as promised. So distribute messenger's gift between the hunters. So there's another insight for us. This is now done, so this can go back into the deck. 45 and 52. 45, 55, that's too far. 50, 51, 52. Okay, so I can no longer do the other one, eh? That should be interesting. I guess that means we're going to have to complete this insight mission, which maybe that's why this insight mission exists in the first place. Oh no, this is the Great Bridge one. I thought this was one that got started at the beginning. Okay. Do we go to the Oiden Chapel then? Is there any reason to? Because I'm pretty sure it's just going to give me that... It's just going to give me that quest that we can no longer do. Oh, I also need the messenger's gift. I didn't take it. We'll have to see if we want to get rid of one of our things for it. Messenger's gift. What does this do for us? On the hunter's turn, non-boss enemies do not activate after your turn. That could be pretty useful. But I think the Beast Roar and the Old Hunter Bone are better. We haven't really had to deal with many enemies activating in the first place, so I think we're going to pass on the Messenger's Gift. We're going to keep the Beast Roar and the Old Hunter Bone. So the question now is, what do we do? What do we do? Do I go to the chapel that I'm pretty sure is just going to give me that quest? We only have one turn left here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go back to the central lamp. We would end up fighting a Scourge Beast, but we wouldn't have any cards left to attack with, so that would be pointless. So my options here, since the map is going to refresh anyway on this next turn, would be to either move and open the Oiden Chapel, which would give us another lantern that we could go to, and probably get an insight mission we can't do, or we start moving up towards the central lamp to get closer to up there, since we do need to kill some more Scourge Beasts, and currently there's only one up there, and one's about to spawn on the Great Bridge. So I could do 1, 2, and then on the resets we could then move up and attack them. Or I could just go back to the Hunter Dream, get my health back, clear my card, and get some more cards for the deck. This block 2 damage could be pretty helpful. Also, draw 2, then discard 1 could be helpful. If an enemy in your space uses ability, discard this. May transform weapon for free would also be great instead of a basic dodge. Being able to transform for free on an attack or a dodge is pretty useful. So I think that's what we'll end up doing, is we're going to head back to the Hunter Dream. So we're back at the Hunter Dream, so this is going to move us forward at the end of our phase here. So everything is going to come back in here. We're going to consume our 2 Blood Echoes in order to get 2 cards into our deck. We're also going to get our 2 health back. And we are going to be getting rid of a basic dodge in order to take this quick change dodge. Put that basic with the other basics back in the box here. And then I think it was the block 2 I wanted to take, right? So we'll get rid of one of our basic defensive ones here, which gets rid of a draw 1, but we really haven't been using the draw 1s all that much, honestly. So our Old Hunter Bone has been refreshed to the floor. Refreshed to the floor. Whoa, where did that go? There it is. Okay, Old Hunter Bone's been refreshed. That's going to give us a dodge. We're going to stay on the overhead slam side here. And then we need 2 more cards. 1 and 2. And then we need to choose a lamp to go back to. Do I refresh before I put the lamp? I don't remember. Going back to the Hunter Dream, I want to Hunter's Turn, consumables, enemy activation. Oh, go to the Hunter Dream. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Page 23 is apparently what I want to be on. Hunter's Dream. So us moving forward actually triggers the reset. So we're going to have to reset the map here. Take all hunter stack cards, those remaining in their hunter deck, discard pile in their hand, and any on their trick weapon, combine them back into a single deck. Discard all blood echoes. When the card is selected, a new one is immediately placed on. I wouldn't have taken either of those anyway. Once the player has selected their upgrades, they may incorporate them into the hunter deck. This is optional. For each upgrade card the player chooses to incorporate, they must discard one other card from their deck. The hunter deck always contains 12 cards. Any upgrade card that is not incorporated into the deck should be discarded and will no longer be available during this chapter. Okay, that's fine. That's what I did. The player will then shuffle their new hunter deck, refresh their firearm and reward cards, and discard poison and frenzy tokens, if any. Finally, heal the hunter, which we did. At the beginning of the next round, the player will refill their hand as normal. On their turn, they may then select which side they want their trick weapon and what lamp. So everything is being reset, but we are in the Hunter Dream while this is going on. So everything's being reset. So we have a Scourge Beast here, and we got a couple consumables that need to be replaced. This one and this one. And we've got a minion down here. And now the next turn starts, right? So we get our 3, 2, 3. Now, does going to the Hunter Dream move this ahead twice? Is that why you have to be careful about when you go to the Hunter Dream? I'm wondering if I need to move this ahead twice now. Because it says when you go to the Hunter Dream, you immediately move it. But it also says once the next turn starts, advance the hunt track by 1 space. At the beginning of the next round, the players will refill their hand. Maybe I do move it ahead twice. That's, I'm going to have to look into that. I'll move it ahead twice for the time being because I believe you're supposed to. I think coming to the Hunter Dream moves you forward, but it's not actually your turn ending. So I think a new turn still has to begin. So we're 1 space ahead. We're going to start on the central lamp here, and we're going to get going, I guess. We are going to 1, 2, 1, 2, bring it back, attack. I would kill it. I wouldn't be able to dodge, although I could use my Hunter Bone to dodge. But I'd have to use 2 cards to bring it over. Or I could just let the Hunter Mob come after me. My other option, I guess, would be to stay here. And then, but I would only get 1 counter attack though. That wouldn't work. I think I want to kill one of the beasts on this turn. And it's going to have to be, I guess it's going to have to be the one on the Great Bridge. I think that's just the better one to go with first. So we're going to use a card to move. We're only going to move 1 space just down to the Great Bridge space here. And then we are going to attack. We're going to be using the overhead slam at speed 1, and we're going to be using this defensive to block 2 damage. So theoretically, we probably won't be taking any damage this turn, provided he gets the basic or special, because both of them only do 2 damage. So that'll be nice. Our enemy is going to be using their basic attack. So they're doing a speed 3 quick swipe for 2 damage, but because of our block of 2, we take no damage, and then we're doing a speed of 1 overhead slam for 4 damage, which is going to take out this Scourge Beast. We are going to gain a Blood Echo, and we're going to get rid of 1 of these insights. Just 1 more, and we will have that insight mission completed. I have 1 card left. I guess we're going to investigate. And just get this consumable, because there's really nothing else I could do. I could move up and try and take on the wolf, but that's not going to do much for me. My other option would be to flip my hunter weapon over, and then next turn I could flip it again. We could do that. I think that's what we're going to do. We're not going to go for the consumable. We're actually going to flip our hunter weapon. So that's going to get discarded. This is going to be flipped. Each time you clear a slot, deal 1 damage to an enemy in your space. And that is going to be the end of our turn. This guy is going to move 1 space towards us since he's 1 tile away. We are going to advance the track here, and we are going to start our turn anew. So, I'm moving up a space, I think is what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to end my turn so that the wolf comes after me. Because the Scourge Beast moves 2 spaces when it activates. That Hunter's minion is only going to move 1. The mob will also move towards me, but we'll end up in a battle with the Scourge Beast, which is going to allow us to finish that insight mission. So, what am I going to... I want to keep that leaping, I think, although that won't do much for us at this point, will it? No, the leaping isn't going to do a whole lot for us anyway. So we'll get rid of the leaping. We're going to move up just the 1 space, and we're going to end our turn. So, the turn ending. They're both 2 spaces away, which is fine. So we'll move this one here. He would move up 1. The Scourge Beast is going to move 2 onto our space. This Hunter Mob is going to move 1. And we now need to battle this Scourge Beast. And we're supposed to flip our weapon. We're just gonna... We'll discard that one. We'll pretend we did that before we ended our turn here, because I wanted to be able to actually kill this Scourge Beast. Because we only get 1 counterattack when they go. So we're going to be doing our overhead. Our overhead slam with a draw 1. Our enemy is going to be doing their ability. I somehow ended up way over here. I'm nowhere near my camera. I can barely see. They're going to be doing their ability. And the ability for the Scourge Beast, flip another enemy action card. Scourge Beast's next attack gains +1 damage and stagger. The final one is a basic, so to prevent that, we are going to be using our Evelyn in order to get an automatic stagger on their basic attack, so they are doing nothing to us. We're attacking for 4 damage, which is going to kill the Scourge Beasts, which is going to give us a Blood Echo, as well as remove the final insight from this card, which we'll get to that in just a sec. I also need to draw 1 card, which doesn't really do much for us, I guess, but that's okay. Cleansing the pack. Complete this mission when this card has no remaining tokens. Reveal card number 55. So we're revealing card number 55, which I think that's the back one. Oh, no, it's not. It's close to the back, though. Clearing the pack. Distribute the Executioner's Gloves reward among the hunters. The Scourge Beasts have been eradicated from the district, at least for now. So we've gotten clearing the pack. try and move this stuff up here a bit. Just so we can get this in, we need to take the Executioner's Glove. We'll see what they do and see if we want to switch them out for something. Executioner Gloves. So, the Executioner Gloves. On the hunter's turn, slay one enemy within 2 spaces that has 2 or less remaining HP. We kill... I mean, that could be useful, I guess. Opposed to doing 2 attacks, it would save a card. I think we might get rid of the Beast Roar for that, because that's not too bad. I do want to keep the old Hunter Bone for the time being, but it's basically 2 free damage, provided a enemy is close to being killed. So that could actually help us out quite a bit. So, that's done. We killed the Scourge Beast. Card 55, which I pulled, right? Oh, card 55 was cleansing the pack, but we have gotten 2 insight now, so we have to continue on with Contained. 51, 52, 53, 54. So, that was this one here, right? Oh no, it's on this card. When the hunter have collected at least 2 insight this chapter, or the second reset space of the hunter track is reached, mark this space with an insight. Mark this space with an insight. As in, mark the Tomb of Oiden with an insight? I guess so. So we have an insight going on the tomb. If I can reach the tomb. Whoa! Whoa, there we go. Jeez. We're going to have to move our camera up a little bit when we get up there so that we can actually see. Mark the space with an insight token. Reveal 42 and 43. So we have 2 cards being revealed now. So I'm going to take it that 42 goes first and 43. So, 42. Unleashed, remove the Contained card and the Fog Gate from the Tomb of Oiden. So, Contained has been removed. Let's get that back into our deck here. 41. And the Fog Gate has also been removed. Now, if the Fog Gate's gone, that means that this is also gone, because it's only there when the Fog Gate's there. We'll see if it ends up going back or not, I guess. At the end of each round, if the Cleric Beast is not in a space with a hunter, it moves 4 spaces towards the hunter with the lowest HP and attacks. Otherwise, it attacks the hunter with the lowest HP in its space. If it is not removed on reset, but instead heals all damage and removes all insight tokens. Okay, there's an insight on the Tomb of Oiden, but that's it. I know in the last chapter we were able to put insight on it so it would do less damage. And card 43, summon the pack. Each time the Cleric Beast flips recovery, spawn 1 Scourge Beast in its space. These Scourge Beasts do not respawn on reset. Excuse me. Discard this card if the hunters have or gained the Clearing the Pack card. I have, so I guess we don't even have to do this at all. So that's nice. So because we did that Clearing the Pack, we don't have to worry about more Scourge Beasts. We can just focus on taking out the Cleric Beast. So that's nice. What card was that? 43? 44. That's good enough. Okay, so we now just have the Cleric Beast to deal with. So, Phase 1 Cleric Beast has 10 HP. That's not dreadful. We still have a card, but that was from the enemy's going. So we're actually just going into the next turn. So the question here is, can I do 10 damage to the Scourge Beast before the end of this turn? That's the question. If we can get him to phase 2 right now, it's going to cost me 1 card to move into his space to be able to attack him. I can attack for 5. I can't attack for 5 because Overhead Slam is currently in use. So maybe we should just wait until we get past this cleared spot in order to do that. I think we're just going to go back to the Hunter Dream and try and get our cards built up a little more here. That way we can just be prepared for the next turn here. It's also going to reset the map, which is going to clear things off of our back a little bit. Because I don't have... If I was in his space, I could possibly defeat it. Because we could do 3 attacks, 1 for 2, which would give us a free flip. 1 for 3 damage, which would be 5. And 1 for another 3. That would only be 8. That wouldn't be enough anyway. Okay, so I think we're just heading back to the Hunter Dream then. It's going to cost us 2 turns, but we should at least be able to take out the Cleric Beast on these 2 turns here. And at least get him into phase 2, and then we should be fine in these 2 turns here to take him out, provided we stay in his spot up in the Tomb of Oiden. So we're just going to discard a card to head back to the Hunter Dream. So we need to move forward once, which is going to reset the map. So the Hunter Mob's coming back here. You're coming back here. A Scourge Beast is being summoned here and here. Any consumables that need to go up? No, no consumables that need to go up. I think that insight's supposed to be on the Cleric Beast. Remove the Contain card at Fog Gate from the Tomb of Oiden. At the end of each round, the Cleric Beast is not in a space where the Hunter moves towards. And this isn't the card that said to put a token there. Oh well. Oh well. It said to put it on the space, not on the Cleric Beast card, so I guess that's just how it is. So because the reset, everyone's in their spots? They are. Okay. So we're consuming 2 Blood Echoes in order to add some more cards to our deck here. Question is, what do we want? If an enemy is in your space uses ability, discard from hand, deal 2 damage. Does the Cleric Beast even have abilities? Is that a thing? I'm just curious. I think everything's just its own attack. I don't think it's necessarily an ability per se. So I don't think that would even be beneficial for us against the Cleric Beast. Draw 2, then discard 1 could be useful. Because we're definitely going to want to try and grab some cards that clear slots. Would be helpful. So I think with those Blood Echoes, we're going to take this Stagger +1. So we're just going to get rid of a basic Stagger for that one. And then an immediate refresh here, see what we get. Second Wind, when used for a non-attack action, heal 2. What's considered a non-attack action? So, like, if you discard it for a non-attack action, because you can't use it on your board. So I guess it's if you discard it for a non-attack action. That's actually not too bad. Heal 2 damage. So if we needed to, we could back off a bit and heal. And we would be in the same space as the enemies still. We're getting rid of our draw cards here, which to be fair, we haven't used a whole lot anyway. But we are going to get rid of one of those basic draw ones. And I think we're going to take this second wind heal too, because that's pretty useful. Okay, got that. Question is, do I start on this side or do I start on the other side? I think I start on this side. I just have to hope that I get a... what am I trying to say? Something that I can clear the space with. Because if I get a clear space, then we're fine. We can take the Cleric Beast out this turn and head him into phase 2. So we've got may transform for free after a dodge or attack, +1/+1, and a stagger with +1 speed. That's not too bad. That should be fine. So we have to advance 1 ahead again. We are going to place ourselves into the central lamp. So our first action here, we're going to discard in order to move into the Cleric Beast space. If I can, oh geez, get up there. Okay, move into the Cleric Beast space. And did it say anything if I have to, nope, doesn't say. In fact, it doesn't even say anything about him being in phase 2. Maybe he was supposed to start in phase 2. It didn't say anything about him starting in phase 2, though. This was card 40, right? My hunt mission? Yeah, it was. We took out his phase 1 at the end of the last chapter. Although we didn't take him out of his phase... Well, I think we did, because phase 2 started the thing where we had to lead him to the tomb. So I guess he's supposed to start in phase 2. I would think, right? Does phase... Where did I put those phase 2 cards? Does it also have recovery in here? Phase 2 also has recovery, which is something that it's set on there. Something about it using recovery. Reveal 44 when slain. It doesn't say anything about if it starts in phase 2 or not, but I recall us getting him out of phase 1 during chapter 2, so I would think it starts in phase 2. Now that's going to make things a little easier for us, but that logically makes sense though, right? That makes sense. So that's what we're going with. That's what we're going with. So we moved into his space. We're going to use an attack for a overhead slam at 5 damage plus 1 speed. So 5 damage for +1. And I don't have anything that can increase that anymore. So we're going to be doing 5 damage. 6, 7. Okay. So we're doing 5 damage. The Cleric Beast is going to be used grab and toss, stagger and stun, move the hunter 1 space away. Hunter may exhaust their firearm to place 1 insight token on the Cleric Beast card. This attack deals -1 per insight token on the Cleric Beast, which I guess at the moment is 1, so it'll only be dealing 2 damage. But it's at a speed of 3, which I don't have. I'm only doing 2 at the moment, so we can't deal with that. However, we do still have the Hunter Bone. So we could use the old Hunter Bone in order to dodge this attack, which is great. I also need to flip my Evelyn back up, I realized. Mostly in order to dodge that stun, because that stun's what's going to be a pain. So we're dodging the attack, And we're dealing 5 damage to the Cleric Beast with our Speed 2 overhead slam. So 5 damage to the Cleric Beast. He's now left with 3 damage. And now the question is, do I go for the other attack? Do enemies get their health back if I go back to the Hunter Dream? 23 that was on. Advance the Hunt track by 1, take all Hunter stack cards, discard all Blood Echoes. It doesn't say anything about enemies getting health back if you go back to the Hunter Dream. Once a player has selected their upgrades, they may incorporate them. It doesn't say anything about enemies getting their health back going back to the Hunter Dream. It's only if the map resets. So I could use my last card to go into the Hunter Dream to ensure that I don't get hit by whatever attack he's going to do next. And then I could flip my card over. Which, speaking of flipping cards over, this should be activated. I could go back to the Hunter Dream. I may not even have to flip my card over. I could just use the Combo Slash. Which, provided I have a +1 speed anyway, it would also refresh the old Hunter Bone, so we would get another dodge regardless. So if I were to use... I mean, see, it's weird, because in the games, obviously, if you go back to the Hunter Dream, or if you quit and exit, or use a Hunter Mark or anything like that, bosses are going to get their health back. But I think it gets outweighed in this because you're taking up part of your time limit, is how I would interpret it. So if I were to go back to the Hunter Dream, I could move 2 spaces forward on the track, which is still 1 space before the reset. The Cleric Beast's going to have 5 HP. That's been dealt to it, so it'll still have 3 damage. We spawn back in the central lamp. We use a card to move up to him. And then we attack with the Combo Slash, which would do 3 damage, which will take it out. I think that's our play. I think that's our play. Provided that's correct anyway. That's what we're going to do. Oh god, I need to reach all the way over there. That's what we're going to do. So, we are returning to the Hunter Dream. We have to move ahead 1 space in order to return. We don't have any Blood Echoes, so we aren't getting any new cards. However, we do get to refresh our old Hunter Bone. The Executioner Gloves are just slay an enemy. It doesn't say it has to be a non-boss enemy. Could be any enemy. Too bad he only has 3... Or too bad he has 3 damage left. We could have used our Executioner Gloves to take him out. So we're not getting anything, so we're just gonna flip our cards here. And we're going to advance again and just continue our turn. So, we're back to the central lamp. We discard a card in order to move up to the Cleric Beast, which we can't heal 2 damage because it's not there. We're going to attack with Combo Slash for 2 damage at speed 2. At speed 2. I just have to hope he doesn't stun us. We didn't get anything with a higher speed. Oh no, it doesn't matter because I can use the old Hunter Bone to dodge, right? So we're going to be attacking with the Combo Slash, and we're also going to be using our Carol Rune Clawmark, our Clawmark rune, which allows us to replace our stat card with +1 damage and stagger instead of just the clear. So that's what we're going to be doing. In order to do 3 damage at speed 2, our Cleric Beast is going to be doing Recovery, remove all insight tokens on Cleric Beast, block 2 damage from Hunter's attack, shuffle Cleric Beast action deck. Well, that kind of sucks. So all the insight's gone, so that's gone, I suppose. The 1 turn that it lasted. He's blocking 2 damage from our attack, which is alright, so it means we're only going to be doing 1 damage. So we're dealing 1 damage with our combo slash. And we can flip, so I guess we're going to flip our weapon because we used combo slash. So this has been used up. Our weapon's going to be transformed thanks to combo slash. And we need to shuffle the Cleric Beast's deck. So the Cleric Beast, hey, the Cleric Beast now has 2 damage left. Ooh, look at that. We're going to use our quick change here in order to move. We're going to move 2 spaces back to the central lamp space. Now we can use our Executioner Gloves. On the Hunter's turn, slay 1 enemy within 2 spaces that has 2 or less remaining HP. The gloves of an executioner from a faraway land. So the Cleric Beast is indeed 2 spaces away from us and does indeed only have 2 HP left. So we are going to be dealing 2 damage to the Cleric Beast, which is the 8 that we need to take him out. The Cleric Beast has been defeated. We have successfully completed this chapter of the Long Hunt. Complete the hunt by slaying the Cleric Beast. Reveal card number 44. Hunt completed. The towering beast lets out one final shrill cry before collapsing to the ground. In the distance, howls and cries of scourge beasts now retreating from central Yharnam fill the air. On the horizon, the rays of sun begin to rise, bringing the dawn and marking the end of this long hunt. You know soon, though, the blood moon will rise once more and a new threat will call you into yet another hunt. So, go us! We completed the Long Hunt scenario of Bloodborne, the board game. Good for us. So, that's it for this video, pretty much. I realized that even though we started playing our attack stuff correctly, we basically still implemented the same strategy we've been doing every other game, which is to use our overhead slash. I'm sure that will change eventually. Using it on the minion enemies, on the regular enemies is probably a lot easier than using it on, say, a boss, because then I have to deal with 3 boss attacks if I do 3 attacks, and that can be pretty deadly. But I think it worked out. You know, we learned along the way here, going through this first scenario here, the Long Hunt, and that's pretty well it. I think we did okay. We actually have a pretty good set out map here outside of having to reach all the way across the table. I definitely like the tile system. Seeing how the map spreads out is definitely interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have played Bloodborne the Bard game, Bloodborne the Bard game, where you sing about the tales of Yharnam, that's the entire game. If you've played Bloodborne the board game, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. It's always interesting to see what people think of games. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If watching this has made you want to check out the game for yourself, let me know that down below as well. It's interesting to see the games people end up trying out based on what we take a look at on the channel here. And if you are over on Instagram, you can follow us at the Board Games Are For Everybody Instagram page, where we just post games that we're playing as well as stuff that we pick up. Just come hang out, have a good time, talk about some games. But that is it for me for now. So thank you guys very much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I will see you all next time. Until then, just remember that board games are for everybody. Until next time, peace.